following podcast is part of the Underdog Sports Podcasting Network. For a full list of our shows, as well as breaking sports news and engaging feature stories, visit us at www.theunderdogsports.com.
Coming to you from sunny California and the Great White North. Get ready. We are breaking down the obstacles on the Armchair Ninja Podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Armchair Ninja Podcast. It is Saturday, March 24th, 2018. My name is Rich, and joining me once again this week is Bijan. How are you making out?
Champ is here.
No, it didn't take you any time at all.
Feeling good, bro. Feeling good. Yeah, the upset victory. Once again, I'm calling these things, y'all. Yeah, this was a really fun episode. I gotta say, I don't know about you, Rich. I think this might have been like the one that I enjoyed the most this season.
I don't know if I enjoyed it the most. It definitely had the best matchups. Like we said last week, we both agreed. You did call the winner. I will grant you that. But we knew it was going to be close, that it was going to be a tight match. And wow, I didn't expect it to be a four-way. Well, yeah, I guess.
Was it, bro?
Okay, so we'll get to that in the end. But there was no clearly outmatched teams, I didn't think.
No, and I know what you mean. I was just teasing. The teams were pretty relatively, well evenly done. I really like it when they have that dynamic. Obviously, I mean, can't blame anybody. It's just however the cookie crumbles. Yeah, I gotta say, it could have been anybody's game, but Youngbloods, they were hungry, man. They were hungry. They wanted this.
Yeah, so to be clear, we are covering American Ninja Warrior Ninja vs. Ninja Episode 4.
Come on, if y'all don't know that, shame on y'all.
Yeah, somebody might just be tuning in.
Y'all know what's up.
We really got to say that first. And before we get into that, I'd just like to announce that the taping in Dallas is taking place here this weekend. So good luck to all the ninjas that'll be running there. That's going to be a good area. It always is.
Yeah, shout out. Dallas, which ninjas off the top of your head, if you remember, were there any, what's Dallas known for in terms of the ninjas?
Dallas, I mean, in the past we've had, Brent and Casey. Brent and Casey were there. The other Texas, the ones coming over from, where is it ran last year?
Is this where Thomas Stillings is going to be at?
Yeah, exactly. Stillings.
I know he's at Dallas, and yeah.
Yeah, Iron Sports is there, so Daniel Gill and the rest of them will be there. So
okay, so we're going to have some, that's, if you're attending those tapings, I mean, you're going to have a lot of really fun ninjas to look out for.
And rumor has it, I was trying to confirm this before we started, but I wasn't quite able to do it. According to Mike from Cayenne Productions, Andy Lowe's is actually in the walk-on line.
Yeah, unfortunately, that doesn't shock me, and it's terrible, and I will freak out when the time comes on that episode if he's not going to be shown, let's be real.
So, he gets invited as he gets shown, so, I mean...
I'm going to have some things to say later on this episode by Andy Lowe's. That really sucks, to be honest with you. Andrew Lowe's is really, really good, and he makes it to the finals pretty much every single season. I mean, it's crazy, but... I don't know, man. It seems like they just have their favorites and people that they're kind of over. And it seems like Andrew Lowe's is one of those guys that they're just like, we've had you too many times. I don't know. It sucks, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Anybody that hits, I feel like last season he was in, top 3, top 5 for his city. So, I mean, it wasn't like he had a bad year that I can remember.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I mean, we had him on you had him on the podcast. I wasn't here at the time, but he had personality. He's a great dude. I don't see what they don't see in him, but I don't know. I don't make those decisions.
All right. Well, best of luck to him. I hope he can, maybe that'll give him the drive that he needs to really, to really drive it home this year.
Yeah. Sometimes it takes a kick in the butt, right?
Yeah. Getting to the Ninja vs. Ninja episode that we watched, we had NorCal Ninjas, that's David Campbell, Anna Shumaker, and Brian Kretsch. The Youngbloods, Tyler Gillett, Bree Widener, and Kevin Carbone. The Wolfpack, Ian Dory, Jeri, Dan Yager, and the Amigoz with Tremayne, Dortch, Meghan, Beatty, and Andy Lowe's, as we just said.
Mm-hmm. I mean, those are some great teams. That's fun.
Yeah, and when we looked at it, it was fairly even. It was we've had, 3 weeks in a row where it was like one team really kind of stood out in each episode quite a bit. And this one was a little harder to call, although one of us did, obviously. And it brought back, I think, my favorite version of the course with the crisscross ring toss and the flying shelf grab. I really like this one.
Yeah, it was fun. In particularly, I think this crisscross ring toss, I think it's called. Man, I'm starting to love that obstacle. Bring it back every season. It's just so awesome. It makes for so many avenues of competitors banging into each other, competing against each other, just getting dirty, And it's weird. Obviously, American Ninja Warrior is about camaraderie, sportsmanship, everything like that. But this is Ninja versus Ninja. Make it a different dynamic. It doesn't have to be nasty, of course, but make it fun. I love that, in the first run, we have somebody, wrapping up the guy. Be like, nope, you ain't going nowhere, bruh. And, just done. And just wearing him out. And I love that kind of stuff. Genuinely, I do. And if you don't, I definitely want to hear from you. Let us know. Maybe there's another side to the story, I'm open. I understand. I come from, as a wrestling fan, I like that kind of stuff. Maybe I'm in the minority. I don't know. But I'm rooting for all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I was a little hit or miss on it at first, but I can see it now. As long as it's incidental, more or less, right? They can block each other, and there's no outright kicking or hitting or anything like that. They are just getting in each other's way and mixing it up without...
Bring the fisticuffs, y'all. I want to see some blood.
Let's start wearing spiked gauntlets and just go all out. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, this is the first matchup. The NorCal Ninjas versus Youngbloods. Did you see it going the way it do? I know you predicted them to win, but did you think it was going to be closer than that, less close?
Oh, man, it's tough. It really... I just didn't... when it came to the NorCal Ninjas and the Youngbloods, both teams, and particularly the Youngbloods, I just didn't know what I was going to get. Yeah, I predicted Youngbloods, but I could easily see the Youngbloods just getting demolished due to experience, right? I just didn't know what they were coming to the course with. So really, I came in with no true expectations. It was more of okay, let's just see where both teams are at.
Yeah, I mean, this could have gone either way when you look at the matchup. The individual matches, there's just some weird things that happened, when we get ahead and fall. Anna getting her feet soaked and then taking the time to take her shoes off at the wall. That was a strange decision.
That scared me. I audibly screamed. I know your shoes are wet. I have to say, as somebody that's, tried the warped wall and everything, and maybe she's done it before. I doubt she's did it before. And I think,
yeah.
Do not. I'm telling anybody that's ever going to go on American Ninja Warrior, do not, under any circumstances, do that barefoot. There are so many avenues where you can break your toes, break your foot, break your ankle. You can seriously, seriously hurt yourself. It's not worth it. It really isn't. And that scared the living daylights out of me. Yeah, if you run up that wall and do it perfectly, you can get up it. You get some great traction, your feet are sticky at that point. But guess what? The moment anything goes awry from perfect, you are putting yourself in serious, serious danger. There's a reason, as human beings, we wear shoes, y'all. I screamed at the point where she failed and she was sliding down. A lot of things could have gone wrong. And I'm just really glad she didn't snag her toe or, just angle the wrong way. She could have hurt herself really bad.
So the toe makes sense to me. I can see how you could twist your toes because there's nothing kind of protecting them and holding them back. What other kind of things? Like twisting your ankle and things? What kind of things could go wrong?
The thing is that, for instance, the proper way to slide down the warped wall is to bring your body forward and kind of just belly slide down it, But when you're belly sliding down it, you got your hands spread out, right? And where are your feet? You've got your feet, basically the front portion of your foot near your toes, pressed against the wall, sliding down it with your shoes. When you're barefoot, you can't do that, right? So now what are you going to do with your barefoot? Now your only options really are turn around to a 180 and run down it, where you can easily trip yourself, face plant down that wall, and you can hurt yourself really bad. Remember, that warped wall is 14.5 feet high. Obviously, you're not going to be falling from that distance, but if you fall from maybe even a 5-foot distance on your face, that is a lot of pain. That can be serious stuff. And just other avenues, if you don't, and you just slide down sideways or something, you're going to scrape up your feet so bad. I don't want to harp on it, but there's so many different ways that things can go awry being barefoot. Please, guys, don't do that. It's just really scary.
I wasn't listening very closely, but I just realized it was the shoemaker who took off her shoes. Like, that seems like a...
Yeah, it was Anna Shumaker, yeah.
Yeah, so it just seems kind of strangely ironic and ripe for Akbarisms there. I don't know if he actually took advantage of that or not.
Oh, I just see what you're... Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Ding for that pun. Go ahead. Dad jokes.
Go wild with that, yeah.
That was like... I wasn't even getting it. It flew straight over my head. Good job.
But yes, so it was almost a clean sweep, except David Campbell brought it home for the team.
Good on David,
Yeah, he went really
well. Good on Captain.
well.
Man, that dude was flying by. It's more technical at times. Like, he was fast and all, but I have to say it was more like precision, man. He really wasn't all that, like, loose or, like, crazy on the course. He was like, this is my path, and I'm going to do it.
But as soon as I saw that run, I was like, Tyler is right on his heels. He is not
Tyler's
giving him
fast.
1 second of space, and he's 1 step behind him the whole way. I thought, oh boy, these guys are better than I thought.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing about the Youngbloods is they have cardio. And I didn't know how much cardio would play a part, but it really does, because the guys just never stopped. And it really played a major portion when it came to the late, like, when they can go further, deeper into the course, where most guys tend to slow down, they kept going at 100% speed. And I think that really made a difference. So we'll talk about it later, of course, but
yeah.
I think even on the shorter course, it played a major part. The guys just never, ever stopped.
Nope. And I knew Bree was good. She definitely proved to this episode. She did really well.
She was good on the show, but man, she really impressed this episode. I mean, I was really the person that's floored me the most has got to be Bree. I mean, she was going up against some incredibly tough women, and she brought it, man.
Yep. That led it down to a relay, one of the best relays we've ever seen.
Dude.
Down to the wire, like right down to the wire.
What was the difference in time?
It was 2/100ths of a second difference between them.
I mean, when you saw it live, it looked like literally they hit it at the same time. And even in the slow-mo still, usually it's like clear who hits it. Even at that point, you couldn't even tell. It was crazy, bro.
I liked it because that time I completely agreed with going to the cameras because I don't know who just hit that first. It was too close to call.
Yeah. Didn't they say like they were checking every camera they had?
Yeah, pretty much.
Man, I can just imagine like them meticulously, like scientifically looking at every single frame and like, oh, he's closer, and oh, this is the moment, I don't know. That's pretty fun. That has to be probably the closest we've had. Maybe earlier seasons. I know we've had like whatever hundredths of a second, but man, I don't know if it gets any closer than that.
That was just close the whole way through. Like it wasn't. Usually there's some kind of back and forth. Someone pulls it. Someone screws up. Someone falls. Like it was just steady. Like it was just a great race right all around.
Yeah. It was fun, man. And shout out to Kretsch and oh god, who was he against? It's Kretsch and somebody. The very first run. Yeah, they were just banging into each other. And Kevin Carbone. Yeah, Kevin Carbone I love the fact that he just wrapped his legs around Brian Kretsch. It was like, you are not going anywhere. And that I just, once again, ding for you, bro. Just awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, it's funny because they were the super fans last season, right? Kevin Carbone and Tyler Gillett.
Yeah, and he was really probably, I don't know if he was listening to me, but probably everybody else yelling at the screen. Wrap your legs around him. Kick that dude. Like,
well, we had the other, in the matchup with Meghan, and I'm sorry, I can't remember who it was that didn't really get in her way. These guys didn't give an ounce of respect to people who were probably their idols, on the course. Is like, nope, I'm not giving you an ounce. I respect you enough to get in your way. I'm not going to let you get ahead.
I love David Campbell, but if I'm on this show running against David Campbell, dude better watch out. Somebody's getting kicked. I'm just saying.
He'd be the first disqualified contestant.
Like long legs just swinging all over the place. Sorry if it hits your head or something. Yeah, I'm never gonna be on Team Ninja Warrior. Or Ninja versus Ninja. I will be hated so much.
You'll be the heel. So next matchup we had the Wolfpack versus the Amigoz.
How is Tremayne Dortch in that level of shape, dude?
Oh, he's just it's you
like
can teach
how
anatomy lessons just by pointing at him. Like, you can see here where this connects to that. Like, just ripped.
It's just absurd. It's like I can't even like talk about anything else. I'm just looking at him like, how do people like you exist? It's just not fair.
I was insulted for when he called it a 6-pack. I'm like, that doesn't do it justice.
That's an 8-pack,
That's like so underselling what he's got.
Yeah. Dude's just, I don't even know.
So this matchup was way closer than I thought it was going to be. A little scary close at times.
What's your take on Wolfpack this episode overall? Like, sorry, let's just get down to it. Like, I gotta say, I was pretty shocked by the Wolfpack. I thought they would be a little bit more dominant than they were.
I thought so too, but I didn't see them doing anything wrong. I just, Andy just outplayed Ian. Jeri ended up winning her matchup. And then, they won this round anyway, but.
Mm-hmm. So you think it's, it's not really about the Wolfpack, but more about the level of the competitors that were against them, their competitors came to play, maybe.
That's probably the best way to say it. Like, the Wolfpack's really good. There's no questioning it. And if you amped up the difficulty of this course, if you doubled it, that team would destroy, right? Like, Ian will take down a course that no one else is going to take down. But this course is about speed, and they're fast, but so are a lot of the other ninjas. So you can't really go by their ability to take down a precision, difficult course.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a good point. And really, I don't want to give an overall narrative, but something that I've noticed for most of the Wolfpack's always been, they tend to excel on the much more difficult obstacles and the obstacles that, how do I put this? Like, more of like the stage 2, stage 3 obstacles, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
That said, Party Time, led by Brian Arnold, won season 1, so what do I know? But when you think about the Wolfpack, I feel like their major bread and butter, the things that really make them stand out, tend to be the harder obstacles. And I think that's a really good observation on your part, man.
And Jeri, when you look at where she tripped up, it was just a simple mistake later. In this round, she didn't do that. She dominated. She did great. Dan was great. Ended up, causing Tremayne to rush to try to catch up to him, missing his shelf grab. They both ended up missing the wall. The relay, let's talk about the relay for a second here, because Dan falls on the floating tiles, and I thought he was in. I thought we were going to look at a 5-second penalty there, but he climbed back on and up. I don't know, how far into the water do you have to go for it to count?
I have to relook at it. Is it a thing where it's like 4 limbs, or maybe it's something where you just maybe it's like you're no longer holding on to an obstacle, like you have the option of you can pull yourself up or not. Yeah,
it was because I thought he was done. I was waiting for the 5-second penalty, then I realized he climbed back in, was right in Andy's way coming behind him. But it came down to the wire. They both missed the warp wall for the first time, and then Ian ended up winning it for the Wolfpack because he just got over the wall a little faster. But it was a good match for sure. It's just that one moment I'm like, geez, man, what is considered a fall? Because that was, I would have called that a fall.
We've seen some questionable ones. I think they're a lot more lax when it comes to the relay, of course. Well, no, not even the relay necessarily. They're just more lax in general.
Maybe it's length of time you're in the water. Like if you drop in, it doesn't matter if you drop in if you drop down fast and you get back up fast, it's still considered. Yeah,
I just watched it right now. He falls, but only his lower body. His arms are on the floating tile the entire time, and he pulls himself up. So my guess is, when it comes to the official rules, it's like a 4 limbs type thing. I could be completely wrong. I don't know the rules for Ninja versus Ninja, but I'm guessing that's more of what it is.
Yeah, he didn't lose contact. Yeah, that's probably it. He didn't lose contact with the tiles at any point. So, yeah, probably it.
Yeah, that said, we have to talk about the whole Andrew Lowe's thing. So, it was already a narrative earlier, in the first episode, where we were joking oh my God, they showed Nicholas Coolidge and did a full-on story about him, right? And we're like, and I believe it was you, Rich, being like, do you think Andrew Lowe's will get one? I'm like, they'll always find a way to screw over Andrew Lowe's. Man, I was looking for it. I'm like, are they actually going to have a profile for Andrew Lowe's? Have an interview and all that? So what happens when we get time for a profile for Andrew Lowe's? Because they do it for every single competitor on this. You know what Andrew Lowe's gets, y'all? They get a little voiceover from, I believe, Matt Eisman or somebody talking about Andrew Lowe's with a few clips of him training, and that's it. We never get an interview from him. I've never, when's the last time anybody's ever heard Andrew Lowe's voice?
They showed him breakdancing.
Yes, they showed him, but there is no interview of Andrew Lowe's talking about himself.
How did I not notice that? I thought he did.
It's just a voiceover from Matt Eisman talking about Andrew Lowe's, and for maybe 15 seconds, and then they move on. Andrew Lowe's has the shortest vignette out of every competitor on this episode, and the only one where there's no interview.
Wow.
I don't know. Andrew Lowe's must bore the producers or somebody to sleep. It's I don't even know, man. But I was laughing and also astounded that happened. I'm like, they found a way. They found a way. Slow clap for y'all. I don't even know what to say, man. But yeah, it's quite amusing. If you guys can watch back for the Andrew Lowe's vignette, it's quite amazing.
I am 100% going to do that. I'll wait until later to do it though. Wow. Okay. Poor Andy.
Dude just can't catch a break.
They end up getting knocked out because of the relay, and so in the finals were our two picks, the Youngbloods versus Wolfpack. And I got to tell you, as much as I was impressed by the Youngbloods, I was like, this is not even going to be competition.
Really?
I was kind of right, but not the way I thought. I thought for sure. I'm like, the back end of the course, they're not going to keep up with Ian and Dan on the back. And Jeri, no way. As impressed as I was with them all, I thought the back half of the course, they're not going to have the stamina, the experience on these obstacles. Nope. And I was so wrong.
I mean, really, I thought it could be anybody's shot because up to this point, I was pretty impressed by the cardio of the Youngbloods. So I was like, maybe they have a chance to stick with the Wolfpack. With the Wolfpack, I really thought like they would also have the cardio because they train upper body all day long, So it was more of a we'll see who can do better. And I was just really waiting to see the singular runs because I really thought this would come down to the relay and just see everybody's overall skill. And I was looking out to see if there was any weak links for anybody, like somebody that just isn't competing up to snuff in the later half. But I mean, we didn't even get to that part where we see a relay, man. This was crazy.
I think if Jeri hadn't stumbled on the trampoline, I think she would have had it. I will say that, which sucks.
Dude,
for a simple error.
That's the worst. Yeah. I felt so bad for Jeri. So for everybody that didn't see it, like Jeri basically, people sometimes they go up to a tramp and they kind of like jump on it to test it. Basically, Jeri did a Casey Catanzaro where she just missed the top of the upper lip of the tramp and just slid right over it and into the water. And that has got to suck so much. I mean, I can't think of a worse time to make a mistake like that.
She was well ahead. Like she had lots of time to kind of just test it out, make sure she was good to keep going. And yeah, just a simple slip up.
I don't know, man.
But the other two, they just flat out got beat. Like it was like no question. They were, they held their own. It wasn't like a complete destruction, but they were beat pretty soundly.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I don't know about you. I feel like stamina really played a part. Or endurance. I'm blanking on the meaning. I don't even know what's wrong with me, guys. But anyways, yeah, it seemed like both Ian and Danny seemed to get winded on the back half of the course, which I did not see coming, man. That shocked me. And when I say winded, I mean, it's so minuscule. It's not like they were huffing and puffing. All the other runs that we've seen up to this point when it comes to later half, guys are completely winded. These guys aren't winded at all. It's just compared to the Youngbloods, who seem like they can do this all day long. I mean, ooh. I don't know. It's tough. They were slowing down, and they can only be human. I don't know. These Youngbloods were, just next level. They wanted it.
Yeah, that was the thing, right? They were going at what I would have thought would be a good measured pace. I thought, the Youngbloods would wear themselves out going that fast. But they didn't. They just completed it really fast.
Mm-hmm. Props to them. I don't even know what to say. I was genuinely floored by the end of this episode, being like, did that really just happen?
My jaw was literally hanging down. Like, I just couldn't grasp what I was watching at the end of that. I just did not see that coming. So Youngbloods take it, and I was completely shocked and knew I was going to get the whole champ is here when we get to this episode. But now I'm looking back thinking, who do we have that can face that speed that they just did that at? Like, I kind of give them a good shot to go on.
Really? You think you see them winning, huh? Or having a good
I don't
chance?
know about that, but like you said, in previous episodes, we didn't see anyone finishing the course quite like that. I mean, maybe JJ, I think, did.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's going to really come down, and I hate saying this, but I think it's going to come down to Bree. I think Bree is going to make or break that team when it comes to the finals, because Bree isn't going to be up against, relatively good women. She's going to be up against the best of the best. How is Bree going to do up against Meghan Martin? How's Bree going to do against, Jessie LeBrecq? People like that. It's going to be a whole nother level of skill. But also, the guys, they've got that cardio and everything, but it's just not all about cardio. Like, there might be different obstacles. There's just different components. I don't know. I still think they're going to give a lot of people a run for their money, but I do not necessarily think they're going to win in the end, or even make it to the absolute finals.
We'll see how it works out. It was really interesting. Like you said, I really liked Bree last season. I'm glad to see she's continuing on to success with Ninja versus Ninja.
So much personality. I love her as a person, man.
But when you look at her matchups, like you said, in her matchups, really, Anna and Jeri both had her beat, and they both slipped up for her to take it home. So
good point.
We'll see. We'll see how that goes in other matchups. So she's solid, 100% solid. She's not a weak link, but there is going to be some really tough competition.
Yeah, to say the least. Fun episode, though. I got to say, I loved it. Like, so many close calls, a lot of, surprises in my part. I don't know. This episode was quite enjoyable, in my opinion. Really, really fun stuff.
Yeah, really good. The kind of matchups you want to see, right? Where it's close, back and forth, slip-ups, shocking falls. It had everything. It was really good.
Yeah, and a component of knowingness. I mean, as you said, previous episodes, you kind of knew who was going to win because they're just dominating. This episode, I mean, there was always that question mark.
So, speaking of question marks and who's going to win, we have our next episode to look forward to now. Do you want to hear the rundown of who we got?
Let's hear it.
Oh, this is going to be a good episode. We've got Golden Hearts with Neil Craver, Natalie Duran, and Grant McCartney.
Oh, they are so fun.
Average JoJo's with JoJo Bynum, Jessica Clayton, and Jimmy Bogle Jr. The Towers of Power with Nate Burkhalter, Selena Laniel, and Dan Palizzi. And Three Wishes with Thomas Stillings, Brittany Hanks, and Brian
Damn, bro. Damn. Okay. That's an episode. They are bringing out some names in that. Wow. Whew. Sorry, you called it last time. I'm going to call it this one. I think Three Wishes is taking it. Was that one of your picks to win the season, the show?
No.
Okay, because I'd feel bad taking that pick then. All right, I don't feel bad. So, who do you got?
Man, oh man.
Really? You're thinking.
I'm having a really tough choice here. I'm going to go...
Let's hear your mentality. What's your thoughts?
So my thoughts are Golden Hearts is really strong and three fan favorites, but that doesn't necessarily mean as much on Ninja versus Ninja. So I know Dan Palizzi is really fast. Lania Laniel is amazing. And Nate Burkhalter has proven him how fast he can be. So those are the two teams I'm really looking at. And nothing against Average JoJo's. They could definitely play spoiler. But I feel Golden Hearts is the fan favorite, and I'm gonna mix it up and say Towers of Power.
Wow. Ding for that, man. Going against the grain. I for sure thought it was Golden Hearts for you. I mean, really, I feel like Towers of Power have a really, really good shot, but they've been known to mess some things up. You know, technically, they have room for improvement because they just make some, small mental mistakes. And also, when you're taller, you have a really tough time on spider climbs. I think that final obstacle is going to be really tough for some of those guys.
Well, we're missing, to be clear. So it's not Brandon Mears. We've got Nate Burkhalter in. So it's just Dan Palizzi for the height there.
Wow, and Dan Palizzi's really fast. Wow. Okay, that's a good pick. I didn't mentally catch that. That's a good point. Interesting. I think Three Wishes are kind of like Youngbloods are young. They're actually very technical. I think they're just going to want it more. But, man, those Golden Hearts, don't forget, Grant McCartney is so deceptively fast. So he can play spoiler. He can do it. And we all know how good Natalie Duran is. So that's going to be a very, very good episode. It can really go many ways. Very interesting.
Man, this is going to be the episode of personality. Oh my! I just
realized, bro. Ooh, I don't think we're going to get an Andrew Lowe's vignette where people are just not even acting like. I wonder if they even brought him to the interview thing. It's like, bro, you're good. You're good.
They used footage from a couple years ago. They're like, we're covered. Don't worry about it. So that is it for this week. Thank you all for listening. If you'd like to reach out to me, you can reach me as rich@ninjapodcast.com. I am at Ninja Podcast on both Twitter and Instagram. And Bijan, how can they reach you?
Yeah, hit me up at Twitter and Instagram at Bijan151. That is Bijan 151.
All right, thank you all for listening, and I hope you have a fantastic week.
Peace, love, and deuces, y'all. Champ is here.